It's great to chat this morning. Good to get together and have a chat. So look, Ash, just tell us a little bit about, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about trail runners.
Yeah, so I'm Ash Tuck. I operate Trail Runners. We basically are a collection of trail running clubs, predominantly in the southwest at the moment. We put on trail running events throughout the week. We facilitate training camps, and we coach runners as well towards their personal goals. We've been going the original club started back in 2019. So we're kind of 5 years old as an entity. But we've slowly grown. We've quickly grown, actually, filled a good gap in that market, and now embarking on franchising, which is very exciting for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So what kind of made you think about franchising as a route to expansion?
Well, I came into the business in a little bit of a different manner, I suppose. A lot of franchisors will come into this having set up their own business and taken it all the way through to fruition. Whereas, although I was involved with the inception of our original club, I wasn't the one who set it up. I stepped in at a little bit of a later date. So just very quickly, a friend of mine set it up in 2019, and he did a lot of the customer facing bits, if you like, leading the runs and sort of getting it popularized in Bristol.
Yeah.
And I was in the background a little bit. My background was in gym management, and so I helped out with the compliance side of the business, so the risk assessing and all of the little bits of the legal stuff that's got to be in place to do it. Yeah. And long story short, he stepped away from the business to change career and offered it to me 2 years ago. And it was interesting because I was already running my own business, coaching athletes. We have a physio clinic in Bristol as well. I knew at that point I couldn't put in as much customer facing time as Joe was doing.
Yeah.
So it was always my intention to come in an operational role and staff it. And for want of a better term, run it at arm's length, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So immediately when I thought, well, is it something that I could do? If it is, then is it also replicatable? So the idea was already there on day one, really.
Got you. Yeah.
So we stepped in, took it on, big success. Spent the first year growing the business and tidying it up, if you like, so that I could be a little bit more operational. And then we decided to launch a neighbouring club in Bath. And that really was our franchise pilot. So that was us saying, we know we've got a primed market because a lot of them knew about our Bristol club. And we had a few run leaders and staff that we could call upon. So that's what I did. We set it up as a unofficial franchise, really. Me operating it and someone else sort of managing the club and the team operating it, and went from there. That was a success, and then it brought us on to contacting you guys and doing things properly and officially.
Tell us a little bit about that then, Ash. How did you go about choosing Ashtons? Why Ashtons as your consultants to help you?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because at heart I'm a coach. So we coach athletes, we look after people through rehabilitation and things as well. And so I put a lot of value on high quality information and good working relationships. Everything that we do or I do or I have done in business has always been partnership. And I know anybody watching this will agree, being a business person, that everything's partnership. But it's that kind of practitioner to client relationship that I've always worked with. So the first thing I did was, you do a Google search, don't you? You see what comes up, you look at the top hits, but also do a little bit of reading around it. So I started looking at the British Franchise Association, and there's a lot of mention about Ashtons through those guys as well, and found myself on the Ashtons website and found myself watching videos just like these.
Okay.
And of course you resonate with the people that were then in my seat now, and you just got a good feel for what Ashtons were bringing table as well. You could tell that everything was really top quality, done methodically, ethically as well. And again, it kind of just aligned with everything that I've ever done. So I sort of felt that it would be a good fit, and that's what made me reach out, really.
Okay, good. And how has the experience been over the last few months? What is it, 6, 8 months or something? I think we've been working together now, isn't it, Ash? Something like that.
Yeah. It's definitely met and surpassed expectation. So when I say met expectation, the working relationship that you and I have struck up has been exactly what I thought I would get, and also what I wanted from it as well. But then when you look at the technical side of things, all of the things that you helped us set up, and the processes and all the little things that you kind of forget about that you need to do as a franchisor, or just don't know, right? If you don't know, you don't know, and that's what you guys are for. That has been, if I thought I was getting this much service, I've actually been getting this much service, right? And depth of knowledge. Okay. So it's been amazing. I'm sure you'd be the first to agree that it's not the cheapest route, and Ashtons might not be the cheapest consultancy to use, but actually you can be really confident in the fact that if you're paying kind of top dollar, you're getting top dollar. So I wouldn't, if I went back and had to make the decision again, I'd make the same decision again, put it that way.
Okay, yeah, that's good to hear, Ash. Thank you. So tell us a bit about the franchise sort of so far then, because I know you're now actively looking at recruiting franchisees. So, what's been the experience so far in that recruitment process?
Yeah, it's a funny one, because I'm used to, and most people in these chats will say, you're used to running a business within a certain location, and so you understand how to get to that market. Whereas I'm no longer marketing to Bristol or Bath, right? We're marketing nationally. And so you suddenly feel like a very small fish in a very big pond, right? But it's going through that process of really whittling down who you're looking for. Who's your ideal franchisee? What qualities do they need to have? Not just professionally, perhaps, but as a human being, because I'm going to be working with those people for a really long time, hopefully. And so once you've got your profile of the exact type of person you're looking for, that pond gets a lot smaller, and you get a little bit more confident with it. And to be quite honest with you, for us, at the beginning, it's a little bit of a scattergun approach. You kind of got to dip your toe in lots of places and just see where you get a little bit of traction. So it's been interesting moving away from what we're used to doing, but I found that we're finding traction in places fairly quickly, resulting in our first franchisees signed up. So
good.
And that came from an internal campaign, didn't it? It came from a newsletter that we sent out to people that we already had on our contact list. So
So what is that profile then, Ash? What kind of people are you looking for as potential franchisees?
So for us, being an ambassador for the company is huge. So being trail runners and people that coach trail runners and deliver training camps, that franchisee, that person that's going to own and operate that business, needs to be a trail runner. It sounds like an obvious thing, but there are franchises out there where you can, you can buy it and then implement management, can't you? Whereas for us, you need to live and breathe what we do and have a passion for it. So that's our number one. Being quite personable, good at talking to people, that kind of stuff is actually the top of our list. Further down, strangely, is kind of the business acumen, because it's a very straightforward business, ours, which is great. It means that perhaps it's more accessible to more people as well. But without those personal attributes, but you probably won't get on with us, and you probably won't love it like we do, right? And that's number one.
Well, it's a very people business, isn't it, Ash? It's people to people, isn't it? And you want the members to get on well with the run leaders and enjoy being there. And
it's a community that we create, and so you've got to be A, prepared to, but B, also be good at spearheading that community and holding a group together. So
yeah. And so in the sort of, you know, the early days you've had so far of recruiting franchisees and successfully bringing your first one on, which is great. You know, are there any things you would have done differently? You know, what's gone well, or any, you know, tips you'd give to other new franchisors, that kind of thing?
First things first is market to your existing contact list, because firstly it's free, but also they're the people that are not necessarily warm leads, but they already know what you're doing. They already know where the value is. They already know how things roughly operate, and so they're one step ahead in the process, as well as you not having to try and to not blindly sell is the wrong term, but trying to explain exactly what you do. They already know, which is good. So that would be my first thing. And then we've stepped into using an agency. So we've got an ad up with What Franchise at the moment, which of course presents to a differently primed market. So whereas our first bout of newsletters went out to people that are already trail running, this ad with What Franchise is going out to people that are looking for franchises. So we've kind of got the two kind of camps, if you like, and obviously we're finding the people in the middle of that Venn diagram, aren't we? So that's where we've gone with that.
Okay. Yeah. Great. And so, what does the future hold for trail runners? Where do you see it developing and going from here?
Well, our plan is to be the #1 and go-to trail running organization for the UK. So what we're doing, I'm aware I'm not trying to sell a franchise to people watching this, but we're how we deliver our weekly schedule of trail running we're the first people to do it routinely, and it is comprehensive, and so we really are plugging a gap in the market. So the quicker we can get that message out and the quicker we can show what we're doing, the better, really. And we want to be that #1 go-to trail running kind of brand. People can go to our website and find their local club and join and be a part of something locally, but also nationally as well.
Yeah, that's great, actually. We know, don't we? Well, you know, I've learned a lot about trail running from you over the last few months, so I know, you know, what growth there is in that market. Just, you know, new people coming into the sport is, you know, running generally we all know about, but trail running specifically is really growing, isn't it? Massively over the last, you know, few years.
It's
well placed, I think.
It's comparatively a young sport, really, when you look at the growth. It's up there with triathlon. It's having a boom, isn't it? And not just from a fitness or you know, it being fun, but mental health has a big impact there as well. And although we don't present formally to the mental health market, we do find that a lot of our members say they come for the runs and it helps with that kind of aspect of their life. So again, it's only going to be something that has more of a spotlight as we grow as well. So
fantastic. Okay, well, look, Ash, let's draw it to a close, but let me give you a chance to do a quick, you know, extra plug for the Trail Runners franchise. So, you know, close with a bit of a kind of, you know, couple of sentences on, you know, why would someone buy a Trail Runners franchise?
It truly is a lifestyle business. You're able to make a decent living out of something that you love. It's brilliant.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks, Ash. Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. And thanks to Ashtons for everything that they've done with us and for us so far.